To me, there are two scenarios that happen in real life that are at the base of why you question yourself and whether, am I listening to my gut? That's, why you're asking that question. The first scenario, and probably the more common one, is that you're in a fear-based place when you have your initial thoughts or conversations about an issue. In other words, your amygdala is in charge when you're making a decision. Which college or major should I choose is fraught with everyone else's opinions. Am I going to please my parents? What do other people think? What do I don't get a job later? What if that career goes away? What if I don't like it once I do it? It's fraught with social media, doom scrolling, and everything it says you should do. It's fraught with comparing yourself to everyone else. Oh, this guy from my class is already doing better, and he's going Ivy League. What if I don't get into Ivy League? I'll never make it. I'll never have it. Oh my God. Do you hear it? You end up making a decision that's more fear or amygdala based, emotionally based in those moments. And your emotions take over your rational brain. And this causes the insecurity, the feeling unsure, the waffling in your decisions, or the analysis paralysis, not making any decisions at all. That's what's happening. Scenario 2 is one I see probably most often with my personal clients, and that's that someone comes to me with a tough issue, okay? Like whether or not to leave a relationship. That's something that comes up a lot. I don't know if this is the right relationship for me. So we'll discuss it in session. And because I'm there and I'm helping to reframe anxious thoughts, I'm pointing out, I'm helping my client be self-aware, I'm helping them be mindful and in the moment, and they're noticing their anxious thoughts. They're noticing where their brain is going. They're able, and I'm Jewish mother nurturing. So we're having this beautiful discussion and they're able to calm down and really make a decision so that emotional brain lets up, the amygdala lets up, which is usually what they come in with, right? And then that prefrontal cortex, that rational thinking brain, and that beautiful spiritual brain, right? They come into play, and I can see my clients' shoulders drop. They usually are, oh yeah, oh gosh. They often cry because they're they're so realizing that they're coming to some real decision. And let's say I'm just making it, maybe they do decide to leave, right? My client says in session, I'm going to leave. And it works the other way too when they say they're not going to leave, but let's pretend they said they're going to leave. So they're able to make this decision from a calm, confident, and thoughtful place. This is a quote unquote right decision in the moment. Okay. Because in the moment, they're making the decision from their thinking and spiritual brains, this alignment, this working together. Because remember too, when your fear brain is lit up, you are not seeing things from a realistic perspective. I know you think you are, but you're not. I've talked about this ad nauseum and so many other podcast I can't even. So many episodes I talk about this. In my latest book, Boundaries Made Easy, which you need to get my book if you haven't yet. I don't know what you're waiting on. Get it somehow. Get the Kindle version. Do something because I go in deep in there. Anyway, but I talk about the different things that happen in our brain and why we think we're seeing things realistically and yet we're not. We think we're seeing things as they are and we're completely not. So when our fear brain has taken over. So my clients are making a rational, calm, spiritual decision, but then they don't, right? And they of course, but at first they do. They have this kind of aha moment. And of course they have a lot of feelings. But those feelings, so of course their amygdala might be a little lit up, but it's not overriding their logical brain. So they make what I call a love-based or a gut decision. It's a decision from this inner knowing and alignment where, believe it or not, things seem relatively clear. Whenever my clients say, I'm so confused. No, you're not. You're confused because your fear brain is on point. If you've ever said that, I'm so confused, your fear I don't know what to do. Your fear brain has run amok, but that's what to know. So they become pretty clear. And again, it might be painful, but it's clear. But then my client leaves the sanctity of our session and they speak to their mom, who's aghast at the idea of them leaving this beautiful partner, or they look through their old IG pics and see all the happy times they've spent with this person, and they start to swirl. And so now their emotional brain takes over. And from this, they're getting hijacked. The fear is hijacking their brain. And from this agitated, fear-based place, they start to question their decision they made from that calm place, right? You've done it, you know what I'm talking about. What if I never find anyone else? Or almost worse, what if they find someone else and I'm all alone? Okay. I hear that more than anything from you guys. It makes me a little crazy. I want to smack you hard with love, with so much love. So no, stop that. Just stop that. Okay. So the fear takes over because now the amygdala, the fear brain, is overriding your thinking brain, overriding your spiritual brain. And that is where you're making a decision from. And it's not a good one anymore. So basically, my clients were in a good place when they made the decision, but then allowed fear to override that healthy thinking. This alone is a place you have to stop and think about when you're waffling or changing or thinking of changing your mind. How am I feeling right this moment? If the answer is anxious, worried, depressed, overwhelmed, resentful, frustrated, sad, helpless, hopeless, you're not following your gut or making a right decision. Your amygdala has taken over. Your emotional brain has taken over. It's the same thing that happens. You know it's a good idea to work out every day. You know it's a good idea to save for retirement, but you don't because you're in your moment and your emotional brain takes over. But I'd rather eat this brownie and not go to the gym. I would rather buy this great bag and not save money for retirement. Your emotions override your logical thinking brain. And the more you let that happen, the more that those neural pathways in the brain, the more that brain hardwiring becomes really hardwired and really entrenched.